Most people are exercising still for all the wrong reasons. The wrong reasons are for aesthetic reasons, for their ego. And all this stuff is so ephemeral, so temporary, it doesn't amount to anything. But if you really understand, this is sort of top layer stuff. Realign your purpose. What is your raison d'etre? What is your reason for being on this earth? If exercising and eating right goes from off the list or at the bottom of the list, then there's something that you have to look at about yourself. You got to go deeper.
All right, everyone, welcome to Heal Thyself. The holidays are coming and we get a little stressed this time of year, right? We got a lot going. We have gifts to buy. We got money to spend. We got travel to do. Everyone goes through the same thing. And I just want to give you all the love that you're making time to even just listen to this podcast. All the gratitude from me and the team, for real, at Heal Thyself. And for those of you who've been listening, already heading towards Christmas of 2022, 2021, 2020, 19. Since we started the show, I give you all the love too. Thank you so much. What a show. We have Tony Horton. You ever do P90X? Remember that? Remember P90X? They had the insanity thing out there. And then we had the P90X workout. And it was really something. There were so many people who were benefiting from at-home workouts. And this guy has been so dedicated and passionate about fitness. And that's a huge pillar of physical health. But a lot of people out there don't talk about what is the integration, what is the meeting point behind sustainable exercise programs, fitness, and your mental health and emotional repression. Believe it or not, we talk a little bit about emotional repression. How does that play a hand in self-sabotaging? Because a lot of people, we got New Year's coming up, New Year's resolutions coming up. A lot of people start their New Year's resolution, not even realize that they're just dropping off like flies every single year because it's something deep inside of them. We're self-sabotaging our own fitness journey, our own feeling good in our body without even knowing it. We're going to talk about why do we do that? How do we get on a good fitness program? What are the 3 points? What are the 3 pieces that we need to integrate and align for a proper New Year fitness program? And really, how do we approach working out? How long do we have to work out? Do we have to stretch? Don't we have to stretch? What about weightlifting? It's individualized, but we talk about some of the overarching things. A lot of you out there may be new to it. A lot of you haven't done it in many years. But what I can say very clearly is that working out, getting a fitness routine, especially for 2024, dedicating it, let's do it all together, is going to be really, 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 really important. Not only for your longevity, but feeling good now, and it leaks over to everything, okay? So I really want you to listen to this episode so we can restamp the importance of physical fitness on your overall health. Thank you for listening to the show, and here we go. But I want to ask you, this was really an angle that I have never explored. A lot of people have trouble, and we have the new year coming for, everyone's making the resolutions, going to the gym. I haven't ever explored this or even thought about it. Can holding in emotion or emotional dysregulation like anger cause us to not be following through on our fitness regimen or any regimen?
Well, in the Constitution, there's this thing called the pursuit of happiness. Like, it's in the Constitution, man. So it's something that we should, there's all these amendments and things that tell us, who we are as a country here. I mean, I'm not talking about just the U.S., but I'm around the world. There's a lot of people who are generally unhappy all the time. Like, they don't laugh very much. They don't have fun, optimistic, upbeat relationships. They don't have it in their family or in their house or at work or in their neighborhood or something. And I think a lot of people who struggle with the health and wellness aspect, there's a lot of people with a lot of great intentions, but no intention ever got anybody anywhere, right? There's got to be action, and there's got to be below that, before you take the action, before you find the guru, before you pick up the book, before you buy, my new program, The Power of Four, or my old one, P90X, and all the ones in between, there's something about you as an individual that has to probably change for you to not only start, but to finish, right? Be consistent throughout. And then after you've, whatever, and most people's purpose is so inappropriate for what it is that they ultimately want, right? So most people are exercising still for all the wrong reasons. And the wrong reasons are for aesthetic reasons, for their ego, to look a certain way. It's about the scale. It's about the inches. It's about the dress size. It's about the belt. It's about what people's opinions are about them as they're going through their transformation. And all this stuff is so ephemeral, so temporary, it doesn't amount to anything. But if you really understand, this is sort of top layer stuff. Like, okay, realign your purpose. What is your raison d'etre? What is your reason for being on this earth? If exercise and eating right goes from off the list or at the bottom of the list, where it's just sort of this thing you think about like at the beginning of every year, and then it's gone mid-January, or maybe you get to February if you're lucky, then there's something that you have to look at about yourself. You got to go deeper. You got to go deeper than knowing what your purpose is. So my purpose is I'm a skier. All right. So I exercise and I also train. I exercise and I train so I can go do the stuff I want to do. So I rock climb, I have ninja courses that I do, and I'm a skier. So the exercise is sort of layer one. And then I train differently than what I do with my exercise so I can rock climb, ski, and do my ninja courses better. Different kind of training, next level stuff that most people are like, whoa, dude, you're climbing a rope upside down for 20 feet? What are you doing? All right, but I have those objectives, so that forces me to do my regular exercise stuff.
Now, Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors and take about 20,000 breaths a day. Now, according to the EPA, indoor air is 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. I don't know if you know this, but in some cases it can go up to 100 times, especially if you're using a lot of chemicals indoors. Now, data shows that air pollution is responsible for nearly 7 million premature deaths globally. So, when it comes to air purifiers, I have to tell you about the Air Doctor. This is the air purifier that you might have seen on CNN, Money Magazine, ABC, and more. Air Doctor filters out 99.99% of dangerous contaminants and allergens, such as pollen, pet dander, dust mites, mold, and even bacteria and viruses, so your lungs don't have to, right? It does a job. All Air Doctor purifiers feature a whisper jet fan. That means it's going to be 30% quieter than your average air purifier. And I can attest to this. I have it in my bed every single night. It's no problem. Air Doctor has been part of my life since 2019. I started off with the small one when I had a smaller place. And as I started expanding the room sizes, I started putting one in each room. And then I had the mold situation, so I put an extra one in that room. What's wonderful about the Air Doctor is when the particulate matter that's in the air is around the Air Doctor, the sensor goes off and it'll turn red. Now, the Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't love it, you send it back for a refund minus the shipping. Head to airdoctorpro.com. You use the code DRG, and depending on the model, you'll receive up to 39% off. That's up to $300 off, right? You'll also receive a 3-year warranty on any unit across the board. That's an additional $84 value. This deal is only for you, the Heal Thyself listener. So lock in this special offer. Go to airdoctorpro.com. That's airdoctorpro.com and use the promo code DRG. All right, thank you, Birch Living. You are a longtime sponsor, and I've been championing this bed for a long time. It's been the bed that I've been sleeping on. And as we wrap up 2023, it's a great time to invest in yourself, right? If your New Year's resolution is to have more energy, lose weight, get your brain focused, you have to start with your sleep. Sleep is probably the biggest pillar out there for your physical health, and you need to upgrade your mattress, especially if you're sleeping in one that is releasing compounds that you're breathing in, that is disrupting your sleep, your nervous system, your immune system, your hormones. So Birch mattresses are fantastic. They're crafted with organic and natural materials that have been sustainably sourced. And they're free of this nasty chemical called polyurethane. Birch mattresses are free of harmful fiberglass materials. In fact, Birch owns its manufacturing facility, so they have full autonomy about what's coming onto your end result, the end mattress. It's made with organic and natural materials, and Birch mattresses are GOTS certified and Green Guard Gold certified. These are the two major labels that you want to look for when you buy a bed, and no one does it better than Birch. They are clear and clean. These certifications ensure me that the bed has gone through rigorous testing. The thousands of volatile organic compounds that you may be breathing in for the life of the bed are not going to be in there, and I can sleep knowing that it's a non-toxic bed. And yes, there's such thing as a toxic bed. A lot of you are sleeping in them. So I've had my Birch mattress for about probably 3 years now. I sleep well. I love it. It's comfortable. It's mold resistant, mildew resistant. No chemicals in there. There's no smell when you open it up, like a lot of the beds out there. You'll notice that. Birch mattress, you get a 100-night sleep trial along with a 25-year warranty. The best thing I love is that Birch delivers right to your door. It's free within the United States, and they offer in-home setup and removal. I love my Birch mattress. I do think you will too. Visit birchliving.com/healthyself to get 20% off of your Birch mattress, plus 2 free Eco Rest pillows for your little ones. Check out the Birch Kids Natural Mattress, which is a 2023 Good Housekeeping Parenting Award winner.
And then secondly, when I exercise, I release dopamine, norepinephrine. What am I saying? Brain-derived neurotropic factor. I'll get it out. I swear, folks. And so there's a cognitive shift that occurs, whether it's weight training or body weight training or Tabata or you name it, yoga, animal flow, whatever your thing is. And that changes your perspective about who you are as a human being. The first day, the second day, the third day, it happens every time. But if you're working out rarely or never or periodically, you're going to end up with what I call exercise bipolar disorder. You're just going to, it's like, oh, all these chemicals and I feel good. Like I just did a yoga session this morning, an hour and 24 minutes. I just feel alive and awake and alert. I feel energized, but I also feel calm at the same time. And that's what exercise can do for you. And if you know that inherently and you believe in that and you have faith in that because the science is there and proves it, then you go, it's your new drug.
Right.
You don't need coffee and cigarettes and whatever kind of garbage, whatever things that you're doing, alcohol, so that you can have these little short-term feel-good moments. And then there's, of course, consequences to all that kind of behavior, short-term and long-term. You exercise today, you're infinitely, is it about longevity? I don't know. Am I going to get hit by a bus 5 minutes from now? All I know is I can go to Jackson Hole and I can ski top to bottom like a 20-year-old. Which I couldn't do when I was a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. That's why I exercise. So my purpose is rock solid. How do I feel? How do I relate to other people? What's my creativity? Upgrades my productivity. And that's why I do it every day, as opposed to all the other short-term versions people use. Bang. Number one. Next two is plan. If you wing it, you won't do it. If you plan it, you will. So you announce to the world, I'm working out at this time, 5 to 7 days a week. Do not schedule anything. This is my time. I'm a mom. Kids, don't bother me. Everybody at work, everybody at home, everybody around. This is my time. You got to plan it. If you plan it, you'll do it. And then last but not least is how do you stay accountable? There are people that get up at the crack of dawn at 5 o'clock before they feed their kids and go to work and go down to a cold basement and do an hour and a half of yoga. I don't know who they are. They have their accountability. For a lot of them, it's just a calendar, right? They make red X's.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the month, they see at least 20, 22 X's. That means they've stayed accountable. If they see 15 X's on that calendar, they took 15 days off. So here comes your exercise bipolar again. I feel good. How come I'm not seeing results? It's the same thing as like you eat every other day or you go to work every other day or you sleep every other night. It's going to go south for you. And that's the stuff that we automatically do to survive on Earth. You want to thrive? You want to go from surviving to thriving? It's got to be Tony, how often should I eat well? All the time. How often should I exercise? All the time. Yeah. How often do you breathe? All the time. How often do you eat? All the time. How often do you go to work? All the time.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
Yeah.
But I just went through that and some people will go, oh, wow, cool. And that 8% might do something. But now you got to figure out who you are as a human being on this earth. If you're angry, if you're if you're somebody whose act is just a mess, your life has been filled with chaos and disorder and a bad attitude and a bad demeanor and a bad vibe, those folks aren't gonna. There's all these other things that you got to do. You got to see a shrink. You got to read some personal development. You got to go to some seminars. You got to find new friends. You know what I mean? You can't find a new wife and new kids, whatever. There's people in your house that are bringing you down. But, you have a conversation. You ask for what you need. Here's what hi, honey. Yeah, I know. There was a gal, her name is Kathy, and then I'll let you ask the next question. 5 foot tall, 210 pounds. Her husband was she bought Power 90, which was before P90X. She did it 3 times, so that's 9 months. The whole time her husband was just like, why do you bother you? This is where you're spending more time. I don't spend, just negative energy coming at her. Couldn't do a single push-up. At the end of 90 days, she could do 20. And she lost around 60 pounds. She bought P90X, did it 3 times. 9 months. I saw her at a shoot because she won this contest. She lost 100 pounds. She now weighed 110 pounds, not 210 pounds. She looked like a rock climber, shredded, ripped, amazing. I watched her do 10 pull-ups. On the shot, I go, can you do? Yeah, I can knock out 10. Bang. And her accountability didn't exist. She didn't have the friends in the family and the coworkers and stuff to do it with. She was like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I trust this Tony Horton cat, and I'm going to do this thing. I don't care how long it takes. I don't know what that relationship looks like these days. Who knows?
Yeah, and you never know, right? As you come more into your physical health, mental health, a lot of things around you change because
they have to
clarity,
change. They have to change,
right?
You know what I mean? I mean, there's things that you can do that people around you can't do anymore because they haven't joined you in this journey.
Yeah.
Right. So then you got to go searching out and finding other people, and then you want to do other things. I mean, my wife and I were in Italy, and we got on these bikes for 5.5 hours on the Appian Way, this trail that Caesar built from Rome down to the boot. it is just amazing. Like this is where you could see the chariot worn out in the, like here I am. Caesar was here.
Yeah.
Like Romans were here. This is crazy. But other people will never be able to be there and see that and experience that because they're not physically able.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They're in their car, like 100 yards away, taking pictures of it.
Yeah,
Not
true.
Not as cool.
I love the way that you frame this, and for me, my mind likes to go 1, 2, and 3, and now I can see it as a whole. But it keeps sticking with me, the first part, because a lot of people start with like the new year and they have all these goals, right? They have a plan. I'm going to do it for the first 3 months, and I'm going to get a calendar and make X's. But it seems to me that psychological component, or not having that sense of purpose or the why behind that, they get lost by mid-January or maybe mid-February.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, like the why, that like you, for example, you said you're a skier and you like to do all of these things, you have the reasons for working out and eating well. How do people even get clear on that?
Well, one of the things that I did early on when I was trying to figure out what I was going to be, I wanted to be a movie star and an actor and a comedian. And I mean, I did stand up for 2 years. I was with Second City LA for a year before it left town. I had 3 different acting coaches over the course of maybe almost 2 decades. And that's where I put my time and energy. But one of my acting coaches, Daryl Hickman, who I think is in his upper 90s and still around and painting, amazing human being. I was never more impacted by any mentor or coach in my life like I was. And he said, hey, look, you're all here in this class with me, and I'm going to help you be better actors. But the chances of you making a living is slim and none. It just is. So find a second thing. And if you find that second thing that you love, when you come here, you won't feel like you're, hanging by your fingernails with the hope that whatever we're doing here is going to work and you're going to become a movie star or a TV star or a stage performer or whatever it is. And so I just started training people on the side. And, Tom Petty was my first celebrity. Then Tom Petty, Billy Idol, Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics, and Springsteen and Stephen Stills, and it went on. And Bryce Dallas Howard, Rob Lowe. And all of a sudden I had this side gig that I really liked, but I didn't think I was going to make a living at it. I was still running around and doing auditions. And so what I would tell a lot of people are in a rut. Your home life is lame. You're not eating right. You're overwhelmed. You're overweight and you're overwhelmed. Work isn't your favorite thing in the world to do. So I picked up Keith Ellis's book, The Magic Lamp, early on. And The Magic Lamp kind of helped me understand, maybe you don't make a living as a trainer, or maybe you don't make a living as an actor, but it tells you, make these lists of all your favorite stuff. Top 10 favorite things that the person you'd want to be, the occupations you like to have. And then, I'm not going to go through the whole formula because we don't have time. But he explained to me like, reading the book and doing the workbook and everything else, maybe this fitness thing can turn into something because I do enjoy it. I like acting more. And I just went to a screening to a movie I was in last summer, which is coming out soon, which is, it's funny how it all came around, right? Want to be on camera. I'm still on camera, obviously, based on what I do. But I'm helping people lose weight and feel better and find their purpose on this earth so they can join me in Jackson Hole on a yoga retreat and ski with me. There's all kinds of things that people would never imagine that weren't even on their radar, and they finally get in shape, and then their world goes from here to here. Like, oh my God, look who I am, look what I can do, look how I feel. I'm going to start trying new stuff. Unfortunately, you leave a lot of people behind, but the people you leave behind allows you to see the people that are coming your way.
Right.
And so that was my thing. Get a hobby. Find something else that makes you feel good about what you're doing when you're doing it, because you're probably going to feel very present. You're going to feel very much in the moment. And for a lot of people, it is the fitness thing. If they find the right coach, or they find the right trainer, or they find the right program. And I've been that for millions of people, right? Because my thing is, I'm not a drill sergeant, I'm not your babysitter, and I'm not your shrink. I'm a guy here to say, come and do this thing. If you're not very fit and you haven't done it before, you're going to probably stink it up pretty good. Yay. You're going to stink it up and stink it up and stink it up. And then all of a sudden there's going to be, is it a month for you? Is it a year and a half for you? Is it 3 years for you? Everybody has that awakening at some point. Like all of a sudden they look at themselves and they see what they can do. And there was no sign of like, they can't even go back and pinpoint where it started to shift. But at some point, you go, oh, like when I was able to climb a 20-foot rope upside down, I'm like, oh, I think the Japanese have a word called satori, like a sudden moment of enlightenment. Like, oh, All right. Or the first time I could do a muscle up. Oh. Or the first time I got through my ninja course, which is a bear. Oh. You know what I mean? For some people, it's their first push-up. For some people, it's their first pull-up. For some people, it's their first mile run where they didn't throw up. You know what I mean? These are benchmarks for how you're improving and getting better and opening up your world. You know what I mean? Too many people fail because their expectations are way out of whack. They don't have any idea. And a lot of them don't really know how to do things properly.
Yeah.
Right? So they're getting hurt. And the reason why people don't succeed is they get bored, they hurt, or they plateau. Those are the big three that take people down. Mm-hmm. And that happens over and over and over again. So come January 18th or February 3rd, one of those three things will happen. And they're back to their old ways. They'll say, see, I told you so. And then to get them to do it again and try the following year or whenever in that course of this year, it's a bummer because they don't have enough intel about themselves and about what to do and who to get inspired by.
Yeah. Man, I love the idea of getting a hobby because, when we were kids, we loved doing so many things that brought us so much light.
Yeah.
Shoot, I remember painting. I remember dressing up and acting and putting on shows. One minute I was a Ninja Turtle, and next minute I was whatever else cartoon there was, He-Man. But
I bet you made an excellent Ninja Turtle.
I was a fantastic one, man. I was Michelangelo, the one who ate pizza.
Of course you were. Yes, sir. Yeah.
The California vibe guy already. Yep. And we don't think about as adults because there's like the attrition of hobbies through our life. And then we're very serious about everything. Yeah. And, we put on our outfit and we adult and we do this work and we call it life.
Yeah. Because when you're a kid, you're going from first to second to third to fourth, right? And we don't question the fact that it takes us 12 years to get through school so that you can go off and be a human being. And then some will do college and some will do grad school. But then we look at a workout program and go, man, I hope I'm ripped by March 3rd. You know what I mean? And now you're older, you're more rickety, you haven't really exercised, so your coordination is shot, and you think you're going to have some kind of a miraculous result. You just got to be patient. The more you do, the better you get. Do your best and forget the rest. You know what I mean? And we're judging the journey every step of the way. Oh, damn. Oh, I can't. I can't comes out of our mouth all the time. Just add the word yet. I can't yet, but I'm here. I can't yet. What is it, Woody Allen? 80% of life is showing up. The other 20% is maybe paying attention to what's actually happening while you're showing up and being okay with it, because judging it is just going to create more problems than more success.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
We just beat ourselves up for based on nothing. It's crazy.
Listen, your mitochondrial health is essential. In oncology, we think about mitochondrial dysfunction being at the root of so many chronic disease and cancer processes. Up until now, there haven't been many very supplements out there that really truly support your mitochondria. And one of the most powerful ones out there is one that supports a process called mitophagy. That is the cleaning out of old mitochondria, so your mitochondria that is there is functioning at a high level. When it comes to this compound, it's a postbiotic. It's made by your microbiome as a postbiotic process to its own feeding of compounds, and it's making this for you. It's beneficial. Urolithin A. I was super intrigued when I learned about it. The precursor is potent in pomegranates. You eat it up, you get it through your microbiome, and it creates urolithin A. The thing is, you can't eat enough pomegranates to get a really high therapeutic dose of 500 milligrams. This is where Mitopure from Timeline Nutrition comes in. They've created 3 delicious ways to get 500 milligrams of Mitopure. They got a vanilla protein powder that combines muscle-building protein with cellular energy from Mitopure. They got a berry powder that mixes into your smoothies or any drink, whatever you want. And the one that I love, the easiest one to me, is the soft gels. I use it for travel. I use it every single day. Mitopure is the first product to offer a precise dose of urolithin A to upgrade your mitochondrial function. They've done randomized controlled trials, proper developed studies to show that Mitopure enhances muscle strength and muscle endurance. At the age of 30, our mitochondria starts going downhill. It's part of the aging process, but it doesn't have to be. You can support your mitochondria. You could support your energy. You could support your muscle strength. If you're over 30, you got to be taking this. If you're approaching 30, you got to be taking this. Timeline Nutrition offers you, the Heal Thyself listener, 10% off of your first order of Mitopure. Go to timelinenutrition.com/DRG. Use the code DRG to get 10% off of your order. Again, that is timelinenutrition.com/DRG. I recommend trying their starter pack with all 3 formats. Find out which one you love the best. Element is a taste electrolyte drink with everything that you need. And what that means is this. It's got a lot of the salt and none of the sugar. You'll notice that a lot of the electrolyte drinks out there are filled with sugar and not enough salt. But this one, Element, has a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And it has no artificial coloring, no sugar, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no fillers. Element is formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs, and it's perfectly suited for your diet, whatever your diet is. It could be paleo, it could be keto, it could be vegan, it could be low carb. It's super important to replenish your electrolytes, whether you're just waking up in the morning, you're just coming out of the sauna, you just worked out, whatever it is. You can have an active lifestyle or just be a human. You gotta be getting in electrolytes. Now, Element is fantastic because a lot of us are going through life without knowing that we're dehydrated. You could drink enough water and still be dehydrated because the water has to be electrolyte rich. Now, you could be suffering with headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms and not know that you're just dehydrated. That's electrolyte deficiency. Now, I felt much better since using Element. It started off when I was using my sauna. I was getting dehydrated. I was getting headaches and fatigue. I put Element in my big water bottle, finished it all in the sauna. I was good. And then it became part of my life. I use it every morning. I use it every single day. I love all the flavors. I'm particular to some of them, but I love all the flavors. So right now, Element is offering you, the Heal Thyself listener, free sample pack with any purchase. That is 8 single serving packets free with any Element order, which is a great way to try all 8 flavors and share Element with your friend. Go to drinkelement.com/DRG. The deal is only available through my link. That is DRINKLMNT.com/DRG. Element offers no question asked refunds, so try it totally risk-free. If you don't like it, you will get your money back. No questions asked. You have nothing to lose. It's funny, I think about people who have these goals, and this, I was, totally guilty of this throughout college. I was like, okay, I'm going to do, and they were just like this giant, I'm going to do cardio in the morning and work out at night. And I would be like, cause I got to get ripped for spring break, right? This is college. And I swear it lasts for like 2 weeks and then it's done. It's like I used all of my energy. And you burnt out.
You burn the candle at both ends.
You burn the candle at both ends.
Be the tortoise, not the hare, man.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask me this, and I refer them to, and I'm going to refer them to you because, we need like the real experts out there. Because, how long, like let's say someone's getting back into January 1st workout, how long can it be 15 minutes, 40 minutes? Do they have to be at the gym for an hour, hour and a half? How is there an intensity level that they need to hit? What do we need to watch out for? Because there's a lot of new people coming into this.
Magical questions.
You got this.
So this is an absolute one size does not fit all.
Okay.
All right. If you're 25 and you got 15 pounds to lose and you're a former Olympic gymnast, you already know what to do.
Yeah.
If you're 45 and you got a crazy job and you got burnout and you got wife and kids, different story. You have to, and then you have to. You know what? I wrote a book called the Big Picture: The 11 Laws Will Change Your Life. One of the 11 laws is love it or leave it. So, and there's 2 kinds of love, right? There's just, like I love badminton. If you get out there and play it long enough, you'll probably lose a few calories and help your coordination. And, of course, you got to eat your vegetables too. But other people want to bodybuild. Other people want to do Tabata. Other people want to do, other things. But you have to start out kind of slowly. I'm the 45-year-old. I'm 65 pounds overweight. I haven't worked out in 25 years, or I've never worked out ever. Then your learning curve is much different than the 25-year-old ex-gymnast that's going to be in shape in 4.5 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so what are you willing to make time for? The more time under tension, the more calories burned, the more muscles that are going to react. So, you're going to get that in a 15-minute workout? Man, if you're going like gangbusters,
yeah.
But you're 45 and you're out of shape and you're overweight and you're burnt out from work. So you're probably not going to go like gangbusters for that 15 minutes. You're going to, you're going to need the 15 minutes for the warm-up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
All right. Now, you look at P90X, how many people did 24 sets of chest and back on day 1, and then they did plyometrics the next day and took that sucker and put it right up on a shelf and never saw it again.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of people went, oh, this is real. Typically people who had trained in the past, they're the ones that went to day 3, 4, 5, 27, 89, 90. Other people on the shelf, off the shelf, on the shelf. Here I go again. Because they kept meeting other people, Kathy, 100 pounds gone. Another girl, her name was Kathy as well, Kathy McDonald, 125 pounds. Richard Neal, 242 pounds. Crazy. And this guy who I went to QVC with had a fixed ankle. Didn't do this from a football injury. So he was obese, but he figured it out. Yeah. They just I want it so bad. I mean, their purpose superseded everything else. All the naysayers and all the bad the bad friendships and stuff, and the lack of support at home. They figured it out. So it really depends on the individual. Your job is to buy a dang calendar, or do it on your phone, or do it on your desktop, or do whatever you want to do. But I like a good old-fashioned paper calendar, and you hang it on the back of your front door, or your bathroom mirror, or on your refrigerator, and you hang a red pen on it. And then you take your calendar, and we supplied calendars in the old days. The new stuff that we do streaming, we have calendars, but you write it down in your own handwriting. Plyo, yoga, chest and back, and you put your workouts down 5 to 6 days a week on December 1, because it's coming. Actually, it's here. We were doing this on December 1. Yeah. And then you hang your pen. And then you go into the gym with your purpose that's lined up with your plan, because there it is on the calendar, and you connect with as many people who are supporting you or joining you as possible. And you go in there and you have the worst workout and you're exhausted and you can't finish. A++, 12 stars, you make your X. And you don't judge how horrible it went and how terrible it was, because you know what you did was you released the serotonin, the dopamine, and all the things, and the brain-derived neurotropic factor. And then you do it on Tuesday, and you do it on Wednesday, and you do it on Thursday, and you do it on Friday. And then you take Saturday and Sunday off, or you do something on Saturday, like maybe a mindfulness practice, maybe some box breathing, maybe some meditation, maybe a body scan thing. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you play for your dog. Maybe you go out in the yard and you get in your garden, you start farting around. Get those damn weeds that have been sitting there. You're looking at them for the last 12 years. Get them out. Yeah. Right? You do something that takes your mind off the stuff. You schedule that too. You know what I mean? You let everybody know. Week 1, week 2, week 3. And then some people, like that gymnast who's 25 years old, she's like, wow, look at me already. Week 5, I feel like I was back in college. That ain't you, Mr. 45-year-old's got 65 pounds. You have a bigger ladder. Everybody has a ladder. And it depends. And some people have to go further up the ladder. Like my friend Vache, awning salesman, came to my house. His arms were like Play-Doh. They were like Jello. I was like, wow, dude. And he was a skinny fat guy. He looked okay in his clothes, had a little belly on him, couldn't physically do anything. Like, it was shocking. Not anymore. Because why? Because he's coming to my house 5 to 6 days a week since I met him almost a year and a half ago. Now he's going all the way through the ninja course. I have professional athletes can't get halfway through the ninja course. Oh, and here's the guy. You know why? He kept showing up, and I taught him. He goes, I can't believe I can't do this. I'm already 6 months in. Dude, you got more rungs on your ladder. You want to stop here and go back to where you were? How did that feel? Did that feel good? Were you happy then? You were miserable then. You got another rung. You got another rung. You got more rungs because you started with nothing. All right. So and it's crazy. Like, I'm watching him now make these discoveries. He was benching 50s dumbbells the other day. He couldn't even have picked up one a year and a half ago. He couldn't, off the ground. It's stunning to watch. And there's so much self-confidence that comes with that. There's so much more energy that comes from that. There's so much more hope and optimism about your life and your future when it comes with that. And it has nothing to do with a tape measure. It has nothing to do with the scale. It has nothing to do with your ego needing friends, family, and strangers to say how fabulous you look. That's just not the wrong way to go.
Yeah, it is your own felt experience of your new self that is just unfolding over and over.
In the beginning's a bitch. It's always a bitch. Even for people who are, it's just a bitch. Is it going to be a nightmare, tough and rough and hard for the first month, the second month? I know people who got through 90 days of P90X and are like, I thought I expected more, probably because I wasn't standing over you, watching your range of motion, watching how you were doing things, what weights you were choosing, how long your breaks were, how many times you were hitting the pause button because you were exhausted. Yep. You know what I mean? But if you're willing to learn and to grow and transform, and sometimes that comes from going to whatever seminar it is or reading whatever personal development book it is. I mean, my shelves are filled with Deepak Chopra and Andrew Weil and Richard Carlson and M. Scott Peck and right? Because I got the reading, writing, and arithmetic, and I wasn't very good at any of those really. But through the personal development, what I learned was stop judging the damn journey and keep showing up, and it will get better. You just might have longer run. And I have a very long learning curve. I do not pick things up right away. I was a horrible skier. I went to 15 ski camps from South America to France to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And it was shocking how bad I was. But I was hanging around with some of the best skiers in the world. And did I learn all that much the first camp? Enough to want to go to the second one and the third one. And now I can ski pretty good.
Amazing. So, but you found your why, right? Like that's something that really motivated you to.
I was also
stay
too
fit.
poor
Yeah.
to be able to afford, ski camps in South America. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I mean,
right.
like I was doing all these other things. I mean, I think I told you before, I lived a block from here in poverty for 21 years. I mean, hand to mouth, like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent?
Yeah.
But I did these things. I took fitness and I went from a non-priority to number one priority. And that changed everything.
That's not the first time that I'm hearing this. I hear so many people say when it's sort of an act of self-love too, right? It's an act of self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
This is, it's more than your temple. I mean, we know in evidence in medicine, the expanse of, you put that in a pill, that's $1 billion pill, the benefits of exercise, cardiovascular, blood sugar, brain health. You talked about brain-derived neurotropic factor, everything else in the body, joints, come on, longevity. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, your mental health changes, your relationships change.
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
It's
overall.
the longevity thing is unpredictable no matter what you do. You know what I mean? Like, if you grew up near Fukushima or Chernobyl, you might have been an Olympic athlete, but you just were in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know
True.
what I mean? It's behavior, it's environment, and it's genetics. Those are the three things. That's where the clock is going. But there's a lot of science that says you can change your own genetics in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jack LaLanne's father died at 50. He died at 96.
Right.
His genetics, if he had behaved like his father, he would have died about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I mean, I know who I am as a 65-year-old. My father or my mother couldn't physically do any of the stuff that I can physically do.
Yeah.
But they both look pretty good. I mean, there's some genetic component for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how this stuff still grows out of my head this color. I mean, like you're dyeing it. Is that a toupee? Oh God. I'm doing everything right so that I'm slowing down the aging process while I do this stuff that I'm enjoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I have a technical question about working out because I've always wondered this.
All right.
Okay. Are we supposed to be stretching? How long are we supposed to be stretching? Do we do it in the beginning? Do we do it in the middle? Do we do it in the end? Is there a way to do this? Because I say this because there's a lot of people who start these programs midway, boom, injured. They're out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they just don't pick it up again.
It's a good question. And again, when it comes to your health and your wellness and your fitness and your balance and your range of motion and all the things that have to do with you improving physically, also internally, all your organs. My wife is hypermobile. She doesn't have to stretch. She does. She's just like, her arms bend. Like my arm doesn't straighten all the way. Hers goes down here like this. Her legs are hyperextend. She can fold in half like an envelope.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not super tight, but I'm also not super flexible. And when I train pretty hard, obviously I have to open that up again. So there are other things that help you get there. But yeah, all my workouts have warm-ups and cool-downs, whether you need it or you don't. In general, certain workouts, I don't really need to warm up.
Yeah.
I just make sure that the first set, you know what I mean? I decrease the weights. That's kind of my way of warming up. But for a lot of people, they're super vulnerable, and especially for people who start getting into certain kinds of routines that are crazy intense and their bodies aren't ready for it. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to name names, but there's some stuff out there that's very, very popular, and everybody's got blown out shoulders, backs, and knees.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of it has. Okay, don't get mad at me. I've gone to CrossFit classes and I've had a blast. Yeah. I mean, they're cool. The WOD of the day is super challenging, but I'm the P90X guy and I'm going in there and some of the coaches that I've been with don't know me from Adam. They just look at me and go, heaviest weight, biggest range of motion, right? And I'll say, I'm not doing an 80-pound sandbag here, dude. I'm doing a 40. That's what I know I think I can do. Most people go to a class and they let whoever's running the session hurt them. You know what I mean? So you have to, again, ask for what you need. Hey, man, you're fit. This is your world, but I know what I got to do because I got to get out of here unscathed, right? I mean, we just sit and we keep our mouths trapped and we let people run over us because they're the coach, because they're the mentor, because they're the leader, because they have a big fan base, because they got a bunch of Instagram. I don't give a damn. You got to listen to your own body. You got to do what you need to do to make sure that you don't. Boredom, that's one. Plateaus, that's another. But the injury thing, that's preventable if you're listening and you're doing your recovery time. LeBron James, he's 110 years old. He scored more points than anybody else, and he's still dunking with both hands flying through the court, blocking shots. Yeah. Why? For every hour that he's training or on the court, he's got 2 hours of recovery. All right, he's got an infrared sauna. Yeah. All right, he's got more than he's got cold plunges. He's got a cryo chamber. You know, he's doing all that work. He's got foam rollers. People are massaging him every day. Yeah. But if you think you're going to go, especially if you're genetically on the stiffer side and you don't have that range of motion, and then you're doing something physically that asks you to have a bigger range of motion than your body's capable of, and you're not doing any recovery work, you're not doing any warm-ups, and you're not doing any cool downs, tick-tock, is it going to be the shoulder? Is it going to be the hips? Is it going to be the back? Is it going to be the knee? Yeah. Is it going to be the, and people don't want it. That P90X sold millions. Everybody skipped the yoga. Not everybody. It was an hour and a half. It was a son of a gun. But if you're going to work out like crazy 5 days a week, then you got to stick a yoga in there, because the yoga allows you to be less durable and more durable and less vulnerable. Thank you. While you're doing everything else. But they would go out for a run or they take a day off, and then they get injured doing P90X because they didn't listen to what I said. Right. I did yoga this morning. It's mandatory. And now I'm doing animal flow stuff, which is You love that. I did it once before. I really liked it. What do you love about it so much? I love it because this is how children move. This is how animals move. There's Frogger and there's ape, which is different than gorilla, which is crab, there's bear, and there's a lot of coordination in it. There's a lot of and there's tons and tons and tons of muscle recruitment. Yeah. There's so many compound, every single animal movement, there's tons and tons of compound movements. It's super challenging. It works on your flexibility. It works on your strength. It's like yoga times 10. Yeah. It's special stuff, and I suck at it right now. I mean, and then I had a regular plyo class. I had it for almost 20 plus years on Wednesday nights, and I invite 40 people because it's so brutal. But as a skier, we jump, we spin, we land, we're doing 20 moves, anywhere from 30 to 100 reps. It's a monster. I've had professional football players and Olympic speed skaters throw up during this routine. Usher on move 17. You know Usher. Yeah, of course. Flat on his back. I could have put a chalk line around him because Usher. I go, dude. You're super fit. You're very athletic. But you haven't done this before. This is new to you. No, he didn't listen to me, and down he went. But he was a hero. I mean, after like the third time we did it, he's wearing one of those oxygen things, and he's just a stud. But a lot of people, that's why I love it, because it's so challenging. Yep. And it's going to help my skiing. I'm sore in places. So anyway, the point I was going to make is, we have this plyo class, and I said, we got to change it. We're going to turn it to primal plyo. Cool. So I took the plyo moves and I integrated the animal movements. That's got to be something. It's fun. Yeah. And I love that. Movements. I love how can that's what I did with P90X, right? I mean, it wasn't just boxing. It wasn't just cardio. It wasn't just yoga. I said, let's put all this stuff in, work on your weaknesses as much as your strengths. And that's what this was on Wednesday night. And, I'm still not good now. I don't cue it very well yet because I'm still learning myself. Yeah. But I had all the guinea pigs loved it, so we had a good time. This is why I only did it once, because in my head this was years ago. I was like, I wasn't that good at it. I'm not going to do. But the challenge was to keep doing it. Check the box that says, right. Of course, that's what you have. Go in again. Yeah. What happens the second time? What happens the third time? Right. What if the 30th time? Yeah. By the 30th time, you can teach it. Yeah, but it's not going to happen on day 1 or 2. I'm inspired. That one really resonated with me. What are you doing next Wednesday? I'll go do it. Do you live in town here? Yeah. I'll see you at my house. Let's go. Let's do the animal flow, man. I can't wait to get this on video, how my body's moving on the floor. I feel stiff already. Everybody's like, leg under, leg over. I mean, I said, hey, look, I'm trying to figure out myself. I mean, I rehearsed it in my house for almost 4 hours just to make sure that everything kind of flowed okay. And everybody was ugly and messed up. And I kept saying, that's okay. It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's not, yeah.
And that's where we take out the ego and we go, okay, no, this is how it's supposed to look. Like our
Yeah.
bodies
Yeah.
are not used to these movements,
Yeah.
and it's recruiting, like you said, muscles that we didn't even know we have.
Right.
It's so funny. Like I remember after that, my calves, my hamstrings, my lower back, I felt like I was like,
Got hit
I don't
by
know
a
if I
car.
can get, yeah, I don't know if I can get out of bed. Please, someone give me the turmeric, the ginger, the boswellia, the massages, the cold tubs. I felt like the LeBron James, but like I needed 4 or 5 days of recovery.
You're right,
Man, it's
totally,
crazy.
man.
But it's really inspiring to hear. Really, at any age.
And is it animal flow? For some people, it's yoga. For some people,
Right.
it's Pilates. For some people, it's whatever. You know what I mean? But most people just gravitate to the bench press and the elliptical and go home,
Exactly.
which is better than smoking the crack and eating, bacon cheeseburgers, right? But
so-
how many for me, I've added rungs. Like I've added rungs. I could be technically, right? The animal flow is an extra rung. The ninja stuff's an extra rung. You know what I mean? Going to South America and Europe to learn from the best. Heli skiing, next extra rung. So, the thing is, when you look at my rungs on my ladder, a lot of people who are still down here go, I'll never do that. But then when they get to that rung, they go, oh, well, maybe there's this for me and this for me.
Right.
And then before you know it, they're next to me getting off the heli,
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
to ski 2,000 feet of snow over their shoulders.
Shoot, man.
Right?
I tell you, man. I on a side note, I skied once in my life,
Mm.
and they didn't. And this is crazy. They didn't. I'd never been down a bunny slope or anything. I just put on skis, and I was already waiting in line to get on the lift. And I was with people who were intermediate, and they were like Black Diamond. We were in upstate New York.
Hunter Mountain?
Hunter Mountain. Yeah.
yeah.
They never put me on a bunny slope. I went straight to the intermediate. And then my girlfriend at the time was a skier. She skied. She told me how to stop. She said,
Right.
most important thing, Christian, stop
Right.
this way. I said,
Pizza pie, French fry.
Pizza pie, French fry. I remember Pete, she showed me this, and I said, and I'm like, yeah, it's intuitive. I'll figure out, like with a big ego, right? I'll never forget. I went down that mountain faster than everyone. And they my friends were like,
Were you OC or what?
yeah, they heard me going, just passing them, screaming the whole time. And I remember like the only way I would stop is I would fall. I had to fall, but I'll never forget. It's like my ski got stuck and I felt my ACL pulling. And thank God the ski snapped off before my knee did. And then after that, I said, okay, I need to start a lot slower, because that, again, you in your head, you want to, there's the ego, right? Like even in working out, you want to do all these things immediately and think you're like, no, I needed to calm the ego and really start with the bunny slope.
If you have a hair-raising experience when you try something new, that's typically when people go, okay, that one's not for me.
That's what I said.
Right. But
Yeah.
if you had like the right pals, who's on the right hill, and you were the ski instructor, and you got some really good intel, and you had a great experience without feeling like your ACL was about to bust, like that was cool. I'm coming back. And that first experience is life or death for some people. Is when it comes to their advancing through life. You know what I mean?
I tell you, Tony, I was wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I didn't even have the right gear. Okay, this is okay. So just yeah, maybe now I'm open to it. I'm gonna get my body really in check. Let's talk about AG1. If you're a longtime listener, you know I love AG1. They've been sponsoring this podcast for a long time. I believe in it. It's part of my daily routine. I've been drinking AG1 for about 2 years now, probably 2.5 now. I started drinking it because I wanted to find something to help boost my energy and just get me focused through the day, especially because I often tend to be on the move. So I want something that is able to give me nutrition, especially when I'm running out of the door. When I started drinking AG1, I could feel a real difference in my health, particularly in the energy and the focus part. Now, AG1 is a company that is totally dedicated to foundational nutritional supplementation. It's supporting your body's universal need for gut optimization, stress management, and immune support, right? A lot of you are stressed out there. A lot of your guts are a mess, and especially in this time of year, your immune system's a mess. So in 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition. They've been continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. A lot of companies just make the formula, put it out there, and they stay stagnant for such a long time. This company's always changing. It's staying with the science, making sure that you're having the best of the best, and that's why they're up on top. So now you all know this. I've said it a few times. I hate taking millions of supplements, and that's why I love AG1. It's just one delicious scoop. I'm getting prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, gut support, magnesium, B vitamins for energy, adaptogens for stress, vitamin C and zinc to help my immune health. Now, AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide support for my body's needs daily. That's why I've been a partner with them for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Drink AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 3, and K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/healthyself. That is drinkag1.com/healthyself. Check it out. We have a lot of female listeners, and I'm going to ask a question for them because I know that there's a lot of thoughts on this. A lot of them go to the gym. And they'll go, I'm going to do cardio. Maybe I'll even do the step machine, more cardio and go. But I'm not going to do the weights because I'm going to be too buff.
I'm going to get bulky.
I'm going to get bulky.
Yeah.
I know you hear this a lot.
Yeah.
But what is this a myth? Is it a myth or we still live
Again, the one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
And it depends on what different women, all the different women want different things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of girls who are like work their way to a CrossFit games, they got a different objective. You know what I mean? Like gymnasts have a different objective. But if your goal is to get fit and healthy, because that should be your goal. Anything short of that is just something silly that's going to be temporary or short term. So, for example, I had a podcast, not a podcast, but a mastermind with Dr. Mindy Pelz.
I know Mindy.
You know Dr. Mindy? Yeah. So she's just an amazing and incredible. And so, I've been in this business a while. I think I know a thing or two. And when I heard that when she did P90X, she changed the schedule completely based on her, her hormonal fluctuations. I don't know if she was pre, post, or perimenopausal at the time, but she knew what her body chemistry was capable of. And she looked at the schedule. She goes, this is a great schedule for dudes. You know what I mean? But not for me. So I moved the yoga here. I did the chest and back here. I had a mindfulness thing, whatever. And then she had a very, not pleasant, it was hard. She still worked hard because she knew based on what her hormones were doing, because she's and you don't have to be a doctor to know where things are in your cycle. I mean, almost every woman who's looking goes, I know what day I bleed. I know what day I have energy and I don't. But if you're a low energy day and there's a plyometric routine there because the schedule says so, then you're going to end up just frustrated or hurt or so sore that you can't show up for the next 3 days. She made that change. And she said to me at the end of our mastermind, she said, I would love to make a program with you so that women out there in the world would finally get the results that they want without getting so wasted in the process that they will fall in love with fitness instead of just being frustrated with it. And there is that component of cardio, no weights, right? So the short answer for that is, of course, you have to do. Is weights the answer? I don't know. Is it animal flow? It's still body weight, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, lunges. Nobody questions those things. Less weight, more reps, more calorie burn, less muscle recruitment. That's probably applicable to a lot of gals out there. And so within 9 months of that conversation with Dr. Mindy Pelz, we shot a Power Sync 60.
Cool.
Power Sync 60, sync meaning the cycle, right, in women's. And it's a 60-day program. We had 2 test groups. One was over 100, one was around 90. And we would get in these Zoom calls with women and go, I'm 72 years old. I was hoping to lose a few pounds. I lost 15. I did it without trying. You know what I mean? It's making sure that you're doing the right. And of course, there's resistance training in there, and there's weights if you want, but they're all 3, 5, 10, 15-pound dumbbells. All right. A lot of it is not rep counts, but time, like 30 seconds. So you got to pick the right weight so you can do whatever I'm asking you to do for that 30-second time frame. So it kind of feels like cardio, right? Because it's a time thing instead of, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do 8 reps. And the results have been off the chain. You know what I mean? But again, if you any woman who thinks that the elliptical and the treadmill and the stationary bike, with no resistance training or weight training or body weight training or things that involve compound movements, physical compound movements, it's just a myopic way to train.
Yeah.
I'm in here and I'm sweating and I'm eating carrots and celery. Well, that's okay, but all you have to do is, at the end of the second month, go, have I arrived?
Yeah.
Have I arrived? I mean, by the second month, that kind of thing. By the third month, you should know if what you're doing is working. Mm-hmm. You can't do a pull-up. You can't run fast. You can't, you're not very flexible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be well-rounded so that when you get past the exercise thing, and that's a priority at the top of your list, then you can start to train for what the world can provide for you, the adventures you can provide, the people that you'll meet out in the world.
Right.
Like the people that I know from skiing around the world. I mean, and I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a scaredy cat with 2 left feet who has a very long learning curve, who procrastinates, I would rather, if I had I'd have my own trainer, and I would sleep till 10, and I would stay up till 2 in the morning. Watch. I mean, you know what I mean? But I have to do what I have to do based on what I know works, not what I want to do because it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your number one free intervention for recovery?
I would say yoga. Yeah. Yoga's number one because it's balance, it's strength, it's flexibility, and it's learning how to be in the moment. It's all those things. It doesn't require anything but you and a mat and your bare feet. You can do it in a jock strap and a top hat, man. You know what I mean? If you so desire. Yeah. Really, and number 2 is recovery is about, how do you deal with inflammation? Yep. I don't like getting in a cold plunge any more than I like a guy punching me in the face 16 times. But I get in because it's magical.
Oh, it's the worst 5 seconds when you for 10 seconds.
Oh, it's awful. The first time I got in 17 seconds, I want to get out after. Like a frog in a frying pan. Boop, boop. That's what I want to do. Yeah. But it's important.
Even a cold shower, right?
Cold shower is great too, but it's not going to do quite enough. You know what I mean? Just you got to get in a cold body of water right up to here. Arms too, arms and hands. If you can't do the arms and hands, you keep them out. You know what I mean? I got a buddy who goes in 5 minutes. He goes like these little 15-second full head plunges and comes out. Brutal, man. But you want to have access to that. Yoga is just you and a trainer, me maybe, to show you how to do it, which is really, really important. But also, a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. My left shoulder is just problematic. I lean back in that lacrosse ball and I roll my arm around. I can go to work.
You love the foam because I
don't love it at all.
Yeah.
I have a rumble roller. Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah.
It is just painful. But you're training. Sometimes the warm up and the cool down and the stretch classes in the yoga don't get to all those adhesions that are sitting in there.
Right.
You can stretch like crazy, but it's not going to flatten that little lump that's inside the muscle.
Right.
So you got to get that foam roller in there, or that lacrosse ball, or that tennis ball, which is a little bit easier to deal with sometimes. And then you just, you bite the bullet, you take some deep breaths, and you move whatever. Like my IT bands are like that table, man. They're just like granite. But I had a knee issue before I went vegan. I'm not totally vegan anymore, but I used to get Synvisc and PRP in both my knees about every year, every 15 months. And then I started eating more vegetables and less meat, and my knee pain went away. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole
that's a whole new
that's another nutrition talk.
Inflammation is inflammation, and if it's in your intestines or if it's in your your digestive tract, or if you got leaky gut or irritable bowel syndrome, a lot of people are just the wheat, soy, the corn, and the dairy. There's a lot of people that are eating the wheat, the soy, the corn, and the dairy who shouldn't be.
Yeah,
because there's so much inflammation from those kinds of foods, from the gluten, from I love dairy. I can't put it in me anymore.
Yeah,
it's got to go. It had to go.
How do you sleep? Do you sleep well?
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Today, like a baby. Babies don't really sleep well. I don't know why people say that. Like a dog. I mean, head hit the pillow and the alarm went off. It's like, yes. But I have a lot on my mind. And so my box breathing when I lay in bed helps me fall asleep some nights.
It does.
But I'll wake up like I have to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, like typically once. I love those nights though. And my big issue is I need 8+ hours every night. And whenever I cut that short, it's the next day is harder. And I'm kind of tired. I feel more achy. A lot of people, not everybody, this is a general statement and it doesn't apply to everyone. A lot of people are taking a lot of mental health meds. We know what they are because they think they're not dealing with life well enough. That's part of it. But they're just not getting enough sleep, man. Go to bed.
Good.
Get a new pillow, damn it. Get some bamboo sheets. Get a mattress that's maybe not something you started with in college. You know what I mean? Yeah. The mattress, the sheets, the pillow, the environment in the room. Get the TV out of the room. Get the phone way the hell away from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are things that we just don't do, and they're simple hacks. I mean, those are hacks that work.
That's a real hack, and they work. Yeah,
and they work great.
Yeah, cooling it down, light, blackout curtains for some people work
do that.
so well.
Do your box breathing or whatever your meditation when you go to bed and when you get up in the morning. Doesn't have to do your, get the apps, get the Calm app.
Yeah. Okay. I got a last question. What is your morning like? What do you do in the morning? Do you have any rituals or like how do you start your day?
Depends on the day. Mondays I don't have a workout in the morning, so I try to sleep in, which is 9. You know what I mean? And my wife has the Monday through Thursday deal with the dog, take them out, feed them, make sure they poop and pee. You know what I mean? So she's up earlier than me, and I get to sleep in until 9 o'clock. I usually don't. I wake up at 8 anyway.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do my shake, my morning shake. I mean, I've got my own diet supplements called my Power Life. So I put the blueberries in there. I put the strawberries in there, both frozen. I'll put some pecans in there. Some ice cubes. I'll pour the flaxseed milk in. I'll put my Foundation 4 in there, which is all about my digestive tract, all about my internal organs and everything else. Stuff is gold. It saved my life when I was sick in October 2017. I take it every day, twice a day. Then I put my protein powder in, and I have a vanilla, a strawberry, and a chocolate. Like, which one do I want today? Boom, blend, drink, and then I'm off doing work, emails, blah, blah, blah. On the days I work out in the morning, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, I'll do a little something low calorie, like just maybe a pre-workout.
Yeah.
That's really basically it. Mix it up and then go do my workouts. And so, 8 a.m. Shoulders and arms on Tuesday, chest and back, which is Thursday, 8 o'clock. And then Sunday is like everybody shows up at 9 and we're out in the backyard, the side yard for 4 hours.
Community exercises.
Community. 20-foot ropes, 15. Like one of the moves is up the pegboard, up a beam, there's a beam that supports the house. Ring the bell, down the rope, up the rope, ring the bell, down the beam, across the pegboard, max pull-ups.
I love that. The community exercise is so amazing. And this is why people actually, I think that's the secret sauce for the CrossFit, right? Like they're going for the community. People want to feel together.
People who are want to charge. Tony, why do you bash CrossFit? CrossFit is great. You know what I mean? If you love it, do it. It's awesome. It's about the community. But just listen to what's going on. So you don't, so you're not out of commission for 6 to 8 weeks because you push too hard.
You're overdoing it.
And people have done that with P90X. They've certainly done it with Insanity.
I did Insanity.
You're working legs 5 days a week. You got to know what to do and when to listen to your body. And the recovery part's huge too.
Yeah, I love that, man. Listen, what a wealth of knowledge. I've already so inspired to do the animal flow myself, to get the workouts in, really even more consistently. I have this 40, right? Like really getting 40, dude. 40. It's a big one.
No, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
40 is 18.
18. Okay, great.
40 is the new 18.
Okay, there you go.
I'm 65. I was born 13 years after World War II. Okay. And I don't know what 65 is supposed to feel like, but it feels better than 55 or 45 or 35 or 25.
Better with age.
Yeah.
This is possible.
But I'm always making adjustments. I'm always like animal. I knew about animal for 3 years. And just like you, I can't figure it. Under leg over. I don't know the crab from bear. But again, I had that same experience in yoga.
Yeah.
And I just decided to go, and I was terrible. Rung number 12. Like that Satori came at like about the 15th or 20th time I showed up at yoga, where I knew the difference between Baddha Konasana and Shavasana and Warrior 2. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And now I have this wealth of knowledge about something that was completely foreign, not even interested in it. And I partly went in there because it was all women. Anyway, I never met anybody, but I certainly learned a lot about yoga.
Yeah.
And now I'm in that same place with animal flow. And I was in that place with skiing when I was just so subpar. I couldn't enjoy it, but I wanted to be better. So you just it has to be ugly for a while. And then you go up all those rungs and then it's not. And then you're a brand new person and you have a brand new life. And then you can look back at it and go, damn, that turned out so great. It was such, and then the camaraderie and the friendships and all that comes with it. Life is magical, man, if you're willing to get outside of your comfort zone a little bit.
And that's what we're going to do. 2024 comfort zone. That's the vibe right now, man. You got us on it.
Open that door, go through, repeat.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. The next one, we're going to talk all about nutrition, my man. Thank you so much for your knowledge.
Can't wait to come back.
All right, man.